والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك سيدنا محمد. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا أرحم الراحمين. So in our fiqh class, every time we go through another chapter in fiqh, another course, this time is the course of marriage or family, the fiqh of marriage as fuqaha call it, or the fiqh of family, because we also will tackle some issues related to parenting, to children, to another things. First thing I can say, I can see some new faces, all young people. Marriage attract always people from, may Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala give every single person here a pious spouse. May Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala bless everyone here who is married with his wife, no second wife. Okay, today is the introduction. So I will talk about three things. Number one, the significance of marriage. And number two, what's the objectives of marriage in Islam? And number three, some common issues or questions that raise related to this. Why I want to start with this? Because we live in a time that there is some youth, they are ready for marriage, but they don't want to get married. For some reasons, I will tackle all these issues. Sometimes because effect of the modernity we live in, as we'll explain later. So number one, the significance of marriage. The first thing you have to know is marriage is act of worship. Marriage is ibadah. Muslims, they have their unique perspective for marriage. Marriage is act of worship. Just like praying is act of worship, marriage also is act of worship. In the day of judgment, Allah will ask you about your prayer, and He also will ask you how did you deal with your spouse. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in Quran said, وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلًا مِّن قَبْلِكَ وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُمْ أَزْوَاجًا وَذُرِّيَّةً. He said that all prophets before you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they have wives and children. This is the sunnah of Anbiya. That's why when in Bukhari and Muslim, the three people came to Medina, they are foreign, and they have enthusiasm in ibadah. They want to do as much as they can. So they ask about the ibadah of Rasulullah sallallahu, and they say, this is very little. One of them say, for me, I will fast all my life. I will never break my fast. The second one said, I will never get married. I dedicate my life for worship. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Man raghiba an sunnati falaysa minni." He said, "Ana atqakum lillah." I'm the most, the man who know Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala very well. This is not my religion. If you avoid marriage because you think that if you are single, that's more beloved to Allah, then you here create a new understanding from yourself. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Man raghiba an sunnati falaysa minni." Sunnati here is not the sunnah in istilah. It's my method, my path. So marriage is in the core of our religion. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam talked to the youth, "Ya ma'ashara al-shabab, man istata'a minkum al-ba'ata falyatazawwaj." Oh youngsters, if you have capability, and we talk about what's capability, then go and get married. فَإِنَّهُ أَغَضُّ لِلْبَصَرِ وَأَحْصَنُ لِلْفَرْجِ. It helps you to lower your gaze and protect your iffah, your chastity. So Rasulullah ﷺ talked to the youth and say, get married. If you are capable for that, just do it. This is a type of ibadah. This is a type of ibadah. If you want to help this ummah, that's a way to help the ummah. To get married, because this is a mutual path to worship Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. You will find someone, he will help you, she will help you, you will help her to worship Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala in the best way. And for that Rasulullah sallam, he's told us that if the spouses do some ibadat, even if they are few, Allah will multiply it because of this barakah of this marriage. He said, إِذَا قَامَ الرَّجُلُ مِنَ اللَّيْلِ رحم الله رجلا قام من الليل فصلى ركعتين ثم أيقظ امرأته. He said, if the two spouses came or wake up in the middle of the night and they pray just 2 rak'ahs together, كُتِبَ مِنَ الذَّاكِرِينَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا وَالذَّاكِرَاتِ. Allah count them as those who may remember Allah a lot. It's just 2 rak'ahs. How can it's ذَاكِرِينَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا, a lot? That's because of barakah of they worship Allah together. So that significance of marriage lead us to go to the second point. Then what's the objectives that our Islam want to attain from marriage? Number 1, this is obedience of Allah. Spiritual dimension. This is obedience. This is qurbah. This is ibadah. This is ibadah, as I mentioned. مَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. So number 2, this is protection. Protection of fitna. Rasulullah say to the youth, protect yourself with marriage. Especially nowadays, we live in a time that fitna is everywhere for both genders. We live in a time that our grandfathers, they can't imagine this reality. You can be alone in a room just with your laptop and you commit variety of sins alone and nobody actually surround you. Can you imagine this? You can be addicted to a lot of sins just by a laptop or smartphone and internet. That's it. Rasulullah said marriage will protect you. If you intend that, you say this is ibadah and I want Allah to protect me from this. That's why he say man istata'a minkum al-ba'ata falyatazawwaj. Third, marriage also is a mutual way to worship Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Every one of the spouses will help each other. That comfort and that ibadah together, that's also another objective. Another objective of Islam also is to raise a pious children. To raise a pious children is one of the big goals that you will give to this ummah. Imagine that spouses, they dedicate their own life, entire life, to bring the pious children. Maybe one of those children can change the life of thousands of people. Just one. And we have in history many stories of some parents that are not knowledgeable, they are not scholars, but they have that strong intention to raise a good children, and they have many scholars. One of the famous example that from the north of Iraq, the south of Turkey, called Al Jazeera. This place called Al Jazeera in history. It's Ibn al-Athir. Ibn al-Athir is one layman, just trader, but he always loved scholars, and he always be with their company, and he always asked them, give me dua, I want a pious children. He had 3 very, very famous scholars, all of them called Ibn al-Athir. One is very famous in hadith, جامع الأصول. If anyone knows hadith, it's a very famous book. أسد الغابة في معرفة الصحابة النهاية في غريب الحديث والأثر. This is the muhaddith. And we have the historian الكامل في التاريخ, very, very famous book in تاريخ. And he's the author also of أسد الغابة. And we have one expert in Arabic literature, المثل السائر, which is very famous in Arabic. I would say raising a pious children, you contribute something to ummah. And even those children, if one of them die in your life, that will be also a great reward. A great trial, however, a great reward also. And there's a lot of hadith in that. That also Allah will test you with that also. So that's one of the objectives also. Another objective is that emotional and psychological comfort. You know, we are human beings. in our nature of a vast majority of people, they will not find that comfort till they get married. Marriage gives you a different type of comfort. That psychological, emotional comfort only by marriage. So this is some of the objectives that when you get married, the first thing come to your mind, I want to obey my Lord. I want to obey my Lord. I want to follow the path of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all prophets. I want to raise children. I want to worship Allah with the spouse. I want all these objectives. So Islam make the marriage, which is just for every human being, make it a religious and act of worship. Now, the third point I want to tackle is some modern issues. Or before that, someone who is capable for zawaj, but he refused that. Why? Before we come to that, what is capability here? Many people, they thought that capability is just financial dimension. I have a job, I can rent a house, then I am ready for marriage. That's not true. You are ready for marriage, but that marriage will be a very miserable marriage. If you don't consider two other dimensions, that marriage will be very miserable, full of trauma. What's these two dimensions? Number one is financial, because you know, as we explain in details in coming lectures, that financial matters is very essential for the man especially. Man is in Islam is accountable for all the financial matters, for the dowry, for the accommodation, for the provision. So financial matters is very important. But here also we speak to all the society, the wise people, all to the awliya here, that if a man is capable for the next two dimensions we'll explain, and he struggled financially, we should help him in that. Allah said financial matters is not the most important, because sometimes if he struggle, then the whole ummah should help him. And in history, in the time of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, when the ummah was faced a lot of prosperity, he encouraged the people that the zakah should go in that time to those people who can't get married. They want, but they struggle financially. Allah said in Quran, وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ وَإِمَائِكُمْ. Ankihu, it means facilitate the marriage for ayama. Ayama, it means single, either female or male. وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ وَإِمَائِكُمْ إِنْ يَكُونُوا فُقَرَاء يُغْنِهِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. If only what prevent them to get married is financial matters, help them. Get them to get married. One day Allah will make them rich. So this is the financial matters, which is the biggest things for many people, which is not. But if you fulfill the other dimensions and you struggle in this, the ummah should help young people in this. It's a message for anyone who Allah bless him with wealth. If you want a reward, look for those people who are very pious and they're ready emotionally, ready intellectually, and they struggle in finance, so try to help them. This is the first dimension, financial matters. Second dimension is emotional. Marriage need maturity. Not anyone has money can get married. He will get married, but full of trauma because he is not ready emotionally. What does that mean? Many people neglect that, and that can make or break your marriage. Some signs of immaturity in this dimension. Number one, uncontrolled anger or defensive. Uncontrolled anger. If someone can't control his anger, he is not ready for marriage. anger issue, those people who will get anger for anything, that means they will repeat the word talaq multiple times every single day, which will ruin their marriage. What's the solution? Go and solve the problem first. There's a lot of courses nowadays built on the late theory in psychology to help you to control your anger. A man came to Rasulullah and said, Awsini, give me advice. He said, La taghdab. That's it. Don't be angry for anything. The second sign, if there is a trauma from childhood, you have to solve this trauma first and then get married. Some people, they face trauma from childhood, miserable childhood. And straight away they want to get married. And they transform that to their new life, to their spouse, to their children. Try your best first to solve the problem. Also, this is now very common, Muslim, non-Muslim. There is a lot of courses for trauma, a lot of programs for this, because this is very common nowadays. Try to solve this problem first. So uncontrolled anger, trauma sometimes is also another issue. Those people they can't debate or discuss even for 1 minute. Some people, they can't accept any advice from others. They have that type of arrogance that if anyone refuses their talk or even interrupt them, that become a big problem. They are not ready for marriage. Solve your problem. Be mature first, emotionally. There is a lot of books nowadays how to control your emotions, because emotions are very important in marriage life. There's a very nice book called Chimp Paradox. Very nice book from one of the professors in psychology, with a very nice way that he tackled these issues. Read this book. They will give you a lot of insights in this. So that's dimension number 2. Dimension number 3 is intellectual. Intellectual means marriage is not all about love. Marriage is about understanding, mutual decision, to understand the other part, about rights and responsibilities. You have first to know that you have responsibility. You have rights, but you have responsibility also. You have to learn how to forgive or apologize. If you don't know how to apologize or forgive, you are not ready for marriage. Because this is mutual. You are never alone. You can do now whatever. But when you get married, this is another life. You have another one who will share with you all your life. So you have to know how to communicate, how to listen attentively, how to communicate properly, how to share your ideas, how to, as I said here, how to make decisions together. All these intellectual skills for communication skills is very, very important. Because when you do that, you'll be ready, you'll be mature, you'll avoid a lot of problems. These 3 dimensions, there is 1/4, but that 4th, I will mention it now, but I will talk about it next lecture in details, which is women should know the nature of men and men should know the nature of women. To be ready for marriage, you have to know the nature of opposite gender. Very, very important. Because that will help you to tackle many issues. Do you know, small issues come just from this. I experienced counseling in marriage problems. Now more than 20 years or 25 years in this. So many problems just start very small. Why? They don't know the nature of each other. That's it. So, وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. Allah said, they are not same in nature. We'll talk about that in details next time, inshallah. So these 4 things, it's the dimensions of readiness, financially, emotionally, intellectually, and then the nature of the opposite gender. Now finally, we'll talk about some common questions. The first one is said, why I should get married? Why I complicate the life? I'm happy alone. Why you get married and go to the problems and all of this thing? I'm happy alone. We say to this person, then how you look at marriage, there's a lack of knowledge in Islam. In Islam, we look at marriage that this is ibadah. That's why he will ask, is it obligatory for me to get married? What if I decide to be a single all my life? Am I sinful? Good question. Let's lead us to ما هو حكم الزواج. So we said that zawaj, the default حكم of zawaj, it's highly recommended. Zawaj is highly recommended. It could be obligatory in one case. If you are capable with all dimensions and you fear to fall in sins. If these two conditions, zawaj is obligatory for you. You have to. If you fear to fall in zina, you can't control yourself and you're capable for zawaj, this is now obligatory. If you don't do it, you are sinful. Because now is to protect you from going beyond the Sharia now. But in the normal case, it's highly recommended. Highly recommended to that. This is the Sunnatul Anbiya. If someone is not capable for any of these reasons, yes, that's now a different story. But just, that's number one. Okay, what if he chooses to be single because of his understanding for marriage, like those people who came to Rasulullah. One of them said, I will never get married. Why? Because he thought if he be single, he'll be more righteous than if he get married. And Rasulullah is married. This is lack of understanding here. That's misunderstand the religion. Here is problem. Now you're accountable for this understanding. But the normal is highly recommended. Sometimes people, they don't want to get married because of marriage for them. It's just how they see some of their relatives. They see some of their relatives get divorced, a lot of arguments, fighting, pain. Marriage for them is this. That's especially in the woman's side, because women are more emotional. So when she see her aunties or even mother, some cases like this, I don't want to get married. That fear, you have to resolve that fear first. Fear to fail, the solution is not to run away. The solution is to prepare yourself very well. And look at the different side, at the second half of the cup. There's also many people, they have happiness and they have very nice marriage. Don't only focus on the negative side. Look at the also another side. If that is reach a status that once the marriage mention is all trauma, then you need to see a therapy. Absolutely. Another also, some people they don't, and this also in women, sometimes some new ideologies affect them. Feminism, for example. They said, your happiness is not depend to a man. You don't need a man. That type of ideologies. So you look at marriage just like this. You need a man or not need a man. Marriage is beyond that in Islam. Marriage is ibadah. Marriage is act of worship. Marriage is to help ummah. Marriage is to get a type of test in this life will never marriage is a mutual comfort. Marriage is, and all the objectives we mentioned before. So you have to look at this from this angle also. Some people, they ask, I'm ready for marriage, but I want to go to Hajj. Which is more important? To go to Hajj, I'm ready for that, or to get married? I'm now ready emotionally, intellectually, and financially right now. But if I go to Hajj, then I will delay my marriage maybe 1 year till I save another amount of money. Okay, in this case, I would say to him or her, if you can delay marriage and there is no fear of your temptation, you can guard your chastity, then I would say go and perform Hajj first. And then gather money again and save money and go. But if you fear that you'll fall in temptation or fall in sins, definitely marriage now is the priority. Marriage now is the priority. Another also person said, what, I'm ready, but I just want to carry on to build my career. I can marry right now, but I want to go till There's no problem with that Islamically. However, what's the time you will do it? Dunya is always lead you to forgetfulness. You say, no, I will build my career. Okay, till what? That can take 20 years. So you have to set a goal. You have to set deadline. If you are capable and just what prevent you that, then set a deadline. Some people say, I'm still very young. How old are you? 27. Oh, mashallah, very young. Okay, so what's the young here? How can you define you are young? So you have to know also, because we live in a modernity that now the age of zawaj now become very late. Because of the school system also around the world. School system, because you go through a lot of till you graduate from university, 21 years old, maybe you'll do master. And if you are ready, financially, emotionally, intellectually, then this is ibadah. You have to think about it. Some of the youth, especially men, they fall in perfectionism. They're waiting for al-hurul ain or hurul tin. So they're waiting for the most beautiful girl in the world. And everyone, what if I can find someone more beautiful than that? And they're waiting there for ages. That's just from Satan. Hur ain is not in this dunya. I'll tell you. Hur ain is just in akhirah. You have to just choose someone. And also, looks is not everything in zawaj. Looks is very important, but not as a personality. Sometimes focusing on looks make you neglect to look at a good character or perfect personality. Think about that. That's one of the stories. I will let you to ask. If there's no questions, I will carry on, inshallah. Not like the previous chapters of fiqh, which I talk just 20 minutes, and in marriage, let me just talk more, because especially in the beginning of lectures, I want to set some foundations. So the time you will ask, maybe I will reduce it, especially in the beginning of lectures, to set some foundations, especially for youth. Allahu alam. If there's any questions related to this significance of marriage, the ruling in marriage, am I ready or not? Yes. Not any other topics. Just let focus here. Yeah.
What if you're ready, but there's some delays, let's say from the family side, or let's say from the girl side, they keep delaying it, but you, as the man, you're ready and everything.
That's not our part of our lecture. You now already spoke to someone and you're just waiting for a decision. We'll talk about that in detail. That's another story. We'll give you a lot of tips, inshallah. We'll open your eyes with a lot of things. Yes, no, I mean, if any, you are ready, but you don't want to get married, for example. Or marriage with another priorities, for example. Or some, yes? Go on.
Sometimes mothers don't want to let their son marry because they want to enjoy him before.
Amazing question, amazing question. Some parents, they don't want their, he said son, I will say daughter also. Probably daughter is, some parents, they don't want their children to get married quickly because they want their children to help them financially. And in some countries, if the daughter get a very good job, the father will delay her marriage for ages just to take advantage of her salary. Subhanallah. If you do that, that's a major sin. That prevent her from all of this just for dunya matters. A'udhu billah. So it's a message for parents that you should help your children financially. When a child get married, when that young man or woman get married, they will help you. If you raise them spiritually, properly, that not will prevent them. Instead, they will take care of you. They just have that comfort. You will help them to close the door of fitna. It's amazing. That's amazing. Yes? So say, you should say bro, not brother. Bro, okay, go on. Yes. No, brother, that's fine. I'm just talking, go on. Very good. Very good question. How old are you? 18. Okay. What's your name? Khalid said, very important question. Khalid said, the age of maturity nowadays is very late. And he's right. 18 years old nowadays and 18 years old 40 years ago is not the same at all. 18 years old nowadays is still play gaming and PlayStation and all of these things. There's a lack of maturity. So does that then lead me to delay? I would say don't depend on age. Just look at maturity. Some 18 years old are very mature, mashallah. If they are capable financially, emotionally, then why not? But yes, I agree with you. I would say now the maturity is, I would say 20 and go 20, 21, 22. In that age, the people start to get a full maturity. You're right, very nice. Yeah.
What do you mean by financially capable? What do you mean by that?
Financially capable, it means you can afford house, renting house, and mahar, dowry, and provision. That means financially. Yeah. Yes.
If you can afford to get married, but one of your parents falls sick, you have to choose either to get married or to take care of your parents.
Good question. What if you are capable for marriage, but you want to delay because your parents are sick? That's amazing. If you can have a balance and bring someone who can help you and help them in that, that will be brilliant. If not, then look at yourself also. If you can't protect yourself from fitna, then no, marriage is a priority here. If you cannot protect yourself from fitna, parents are a priority here. But also you have to know, set timeline. Because if you say, because my parents all the time, that's also... Yes?
I'm asking in Arabic, then you can
Okay.
answer in English. ماذا تقول شيخ في بعض الآباء الذين يعني يدفعون أبنائهم للزواج مع علمهم بأنهم ليسوا يعني مستعدين بالمعايير التي ذكرت ظنا منهم بأن الزواج يعني سيصلح.
Amazing question. Some parents push their children to get married and they know for certain their children are not mature. And their argument, if they get married, they will get mature. So they just push their children to be a musiba for that spouse, miskin. This is musiba. If you know that your children is not mature, don't push them to get married. Don't wait for another spouse to fill you, which is the opinion or idea for some people. Some people, they said, I'm not righteous. Okay? I don't pray. I pray occasionally. But I will get someone who is practiced to help me. Don't do that. Help yourself first. Don't be musiba on another one. Or, oh, I have a trauma, but when I get married, she will fill me. Or the opposite. If your daughter, if your son, usually in this, is not mature, don't make your son musiba to that girl, miskin girl. But try to improve that maturity. Try to improve that maturity. That's very important. Okay, yeah.
We have a lot of cases these days, especially with daughters, where their parents are telling them to finish university before getting married. And then they go on to university and they get exposed to all sorts of nonsense. And then 22, 23, they suddenly don't want to get married.
Very important question. Barakallahu fiqh. Very important point that some also parents, they push their daughters to complete their daughters want to get married. And they found a righteous person. And the girl want to get married. She said that explicitly to her parents. But the parents prevent the girl to get married. Why? We want you to complete your degree, to take a master. There's no conflict here. Many women, they get married and they complete their degree. It's not to protect or to prevent your daughter to fulfill her deen here and to protect herself. You have to think as a father about this. We live in a time of fitna. We have to do something to facilitate the nikah for the young people. If you are concerned about this, that's very easy. I'll sit down that potential and say, look, I pay a lot for this. It's very important for me, this degree. I have a condition. Let her to complete her degree. Help her in that. That's it. And let her get married. Don't prevent your children with this. Problem is some parents, they don't know or realize the fitna that young people go through here. The pornography kill many youth. And then some parents, they still, no, you're still young. Subhanallah. And some parents, they are very wealthy. And the people, their children struggle financially. They don't want to help their children to protect them from this fitna again. So we have just to spread awareness to the parents about the situation nowadays. It's not like the situation when you, as a parent, get married long time ago. May Allah protect all of us. May Allah protect all of us. Anything? Okay. Let me then... Okay, one of the problems also that some youth, some people, they become addicted to type of entertainment nowadays that they don't want to get married anymore. Some youth became addicted to pornography. That prevents them from get married. That rise a trauma of marriage, which I advise everyone who fell in this trial to seek help. Every single brother or sister who fell in pornography, please seek help. There is a very nice website which the founder, he visited us just recently. He can help you in this. What's the call of website, Zakaria? Where is Zakaria? Yes.
It's called Aware Academy.
Aware Academy. Aware Academy, you can just send long message and they will reply to you very soon. You need help. You can't heal yourself by yourself. You need to raise your hand and say, I need help. Because that will prevent you from marriage also. For entertainment, addiction to entertainment also. Surround with a circle. You always go addicted to your circle. That prevents some youth also from get married. They don't want that, that responsibility, all of this thing. Let me, again and again, it's ibadah. So today, we just mention all of this. Next time, inshallah, this first lectures is just about some foundation. After that, it will be more and more fiqh. Next time, we'll talk about the nature of woman, the nature of man. It's very essential, even for those who are married. Those who are married for a long time, I'll try to explain the nature of both genders. Sometimes you will smile because you remember some incidents that you need to conflict, and the problem is just you don't know the nature of opposite gender. So please, so next time, inshallah ta'ala, may Allah bless you. May Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala facilitate nikah for every brother and sister who are single here. May Allah make it easy for them. May Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala bless them with that and to protect their iffa. Wallahu alam wa sallallahu ala abdi rasulih sayyidina Muhammad.